focused on speaking about how rules or oversights for supply orders, how they fire, and how a manager can either release the order with no changes or actually make a change within the order and make a little bit of an impact when it comes to cost controls. So you can see in front of you the agenda that we have for really all of our webinars that we're doing, but this one's going to be strictly focused just on order oversight. So when we speak about order oversight, let me show you the types of rules that we're speaking about. So what we have here is the first one, and all these rules will be live on the system. The first rule is formulary management. That's number one. So of course, that's a fairly easy one, but CHI at home has a formulary intact. So if you were to order a non-formulary item, you would have a rule fire. And so you'll see what that means, but these rules fire proactively online. The second type of rule that we're doing is cost per patient per time period. And Melissa, maybe you can unhighlight that. It's a little bit harder maybe to see. But what you see there for cost per patient per time period is $150 per patient per 2-week period. So we want to make sure that maybe you're ordering too many ostomy items or something like that. $150 for 2 weeks is it's a pretty lenient number, so we don't see that that rule should fire too often. The third rule is a unique type of a rule, and it's one that will probably highlight high-cost patients and hopefully alert clinical managers to really look at controlling silver product utilization. So what we've done is that any order in which you're using silver as an antimicrobial, so we're talking about Prisma, we're talking about Aquacel AG or OptiCell AG, or any foam that has silver in it. If you're using that for more than a 2-week period, then a rule will fire to say, do you still really want to use that product? Maybe it's time to kind of transition to a non-silver antimicrobial because those products cost a lot of money. And most of the time, 99% of the time, depending on the patient and their diagnosis and comorbidity, there's most likely not a reason to continue to use silver. It's just typical a product at the start of care that's used, and then it just keeps getting used throughout the episode. So we find that that rule is a great tool. The last rule that we're going to be doing is advanced wound care utilization. Again, another rule that you're probably familiar with, but when we talk about advanced wound care, we're talking about foams, hydrocolloids, composite dressings, we're talking about films and alginates and hydrofibers, all those types of products that are fairly costly. And what we've done is we put in so that if you're ordering those, all of them are 3 eaches per week, and then typically alginates and hydrofibers are 7 eaches allowed per week. So know that if you were to order, and we're going to show you this example in a second, if you were to order over that utilization, then the rule will fire. One thing that you'll see in the demo that Melissa's about to do is that if you break all the rules or 2 of the rules, those oversights all will alert the manager that each rule fired. So, you know, the order will get stopped proactively and not shipped until the clinical manager does something with this order. So, Melissa, you can bring up Medline.com, and there's probably, you know, 2 ways that are going to be very familiar for you for kind of looking at rules. One is going to be, we have a dashboard, and so you'll see that on the main page. And in that dashboard, there's a section there that says these orders are awaiting your approval. So many of our customers, their managers look at this maybe twice a day before the cutoff. Remember, the cutoff is 3 p.m. of your local distribution time. And they'll look at that, you know, at set times. Of course, you're going to also get an email alert, and we'll show you this, that says that a rule fired for an order. Just so that everyone's aware, I mean, we do not typically see more than 5 to 10% of your total volume hitting a rule. If that's the case, then maybe something's wrong. We have to tweak something, but know that this shouldn't turn into an operational type of a burden for you. But rules and the oversight is a great way to manage costs. There's just no question about it. With that said, Melissa's just logging in, and we're going to, she's logging in, you're logging in as a standard type of user, and we're gonna do a test order now, so you'll see what it looks like.
Thanks, Mike, and welcome to Medline.com. So I'm logged in as a clinician getting ready to place an order. We are encouraging the use of our order templates, which are available to all CHI at home users. So I'll select an advanced wound care template. Just generally as an overview, you'll see that these templates are created and formulated to make ordering as quick and easy as possible. So they're categorized into the different types of advanced wound care products, foams, hydrocolloids, alginates, etc. As a user, I will submit my order quantity. So in this example, I'm going to order 10 each of our Exuderm Odor Shield 2x2. I'll add this to my order. I'll input my packaging and shipping information, select my patient. I'm going pretty fast for the sake of time. We do have a webinar available which goes into more depth on placement. See my order for 10 each of the Exuderm Order Shield. And oh, I just remembered, I also want to add an item and order some tape for my patient. So again, for the sake of time, I'm just going to go ahead and pretend that I know this item number off the top of my head. So I have 2 items on my order, 10 each of the Exuderm Order Shield and 1 each of our surgical, the 3M cloth tape. You will notice that one of these items is either indicated as a formulary item, the other is not. So since I know this is going to fire a rule, as a user, if I'm aware of this, I can add a note at this point which would then be forwarded on to the supervisor who will ultimately view and approve this order. So I'm going to submit my order. Again, as a user, you see that I'm notified that there are 2 rules or oversights that have been triggered by this order. In the first example, I have the non-formulary item, which is the 3M tape. And in the second example, I've ordered greater than 3 of our hydrocolloid. So again, as a user, I can go in, edit my order, or add notes. Again, for the sake of time, I'll go ahead and just submit the order. This order will go to this supervisor to notify. And I'll add my note that this is a physician request. I'm notified that my order has been submitted for review. As the user, I also receive an email with my order information and an indication that my order has been submitted for review. Again, keep in mind this order will not ship until it has been reviewed and approved by the supervisor for this account. As, coincidentally, the supervisor for this account, I've received an email indicating that I have an order to review and pending my approval. This also includes a link for me to view the details of this order. So bear with me, folks, while I log in as the supervisor for this account.
Yeah, under normal circumstances, you wouldn't really have to, necessarily do that. You would use 2 different users here. But the beauty of, I think, the nurse out in the field doing an order and having that ability to put notes in there is a good thing, because that will prevent maybe phone calls from going back and forth between the manager and the nurse. But also, remember, the order does stop proactively, and the nurse sees the rules that are firing. So many of our customers, they get very used to the advanced wound care utilization and different rules, formulary, and stuff like that. And so the nurse actually, of course, can edit that order and make the change without it going to a manager. and let them the order go through. So while they're actually live in the order.
Thanks, Mike. And yeah, I will second to Mike's point that because I was logged in as the original creator of that order, I did have to re-log in as the supervisor. As the supervisor, once you receive that email, you may in some instances have to just provide your Medline password, but you'll automatically be logged into your account. So when I log into my account, this brings me to my order dashboard. And you'll see in the very center, prominently in the middle of the page, are orders for my approval. And so this is the order that I just created. I select this order. Here at the top of the screen, it indicates the type of oversights that this order has triggered. In this example, I have both a non-formulary item and I have fired a utilization oversight as well on the hydrocolloid product. So as the supervisor, I can just select Approve Order. This automatically submits the order to Medline with no additional changes. I can select Edit, which then opens the order and allows me to make changes. So in this example, I will reduce the quantity of my hydrocolloid item to 3. Now, as an approver, if you're wanting to go the extra mile, and Mike, I can talk about this if you'd like, searching for a formulary equivalent to this item, or just removing this item for the order entirely.
Right. I think in this example, we can remove the item. There's going to be many times where if you looked into the details of this product, we would show alternatives. So that's another option for the website.
Correct.
So you'll have that as well.
Right. And there is a link. You'll see the description of this product is highlighted in blue. That offers a link to additional information on this product, including alternatives. But to Mike's point, in this example, I will select the box to the far right underneath the trash can, which allows me to remove this item from the order. This has also updated my quantity of the Exuderm to 3. I'll now review and submit. And it appears that this patient has apparently received during this week-long period some of this product already, my randomly selected patient. So in this example,
in this case, you would be able to. So it's very good to show this because what's nice is that we do track, of course, the history of the orders. So if for some reason the nurse tried to order it every day to get around the rule, it doesn't really work that way.
Correct.
So in this case, you could just submit the order or approve the order again, which in this case would be fine.
Correct. Or as an approver, I ultimately can also reject this order. And the original creator of the order is notified of all of these different options. So when you approve the order and submit to Medline, it notifies the original creator of the order along with any edits that you've made, or if you choose to reject the order, the original user is notified as well. And so I approve my order, and I'm confirmed that that order has been approved and submitted, and there's nothing further needed on my part.
So just in kind of a simple review here, the rule oversights are not to be a burden for you operationally, for the nurse, the patient, for the managers, anybody. It's really just to provide some type of oversight and to control costs, especially sometimes excess waste. We'll be monitoring through reporting as well as our customer service communication if for some reason rules oversight are becoming a burden operationally. Definitely not typical from our experience. And as we implement CHI at home, this would be an important training tool. We hope you enjoyed the webinar, and I hope it was useful for future ordering and oversight for supply management. Thank you.